Hi guys, welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, my name's Lauren. I am the founder of makeupmafia.co.uk and today's video is to get this really lush, rusty, smoky eye look really, and some tips on how to make the look last all day. So if you haven't already subscribed, press subscribe, press the bell button and let's get on with our video. Okay, so let's get things started then. So I'm going to be using the Mineral Touch liquid foundation in satin. I've done a tan quite a few times now, so we've got a few layers going on. So I've needed to go up a shade. So we need about 5 drops on that. Always make sure that you I'm emptying the dropper before I even get it out. Before you apply, because there's an ingredient in there that fills fine lines and wrinkles, so it tends to separate, especially in this heat, so it's best to shake it all back up. So when you're applying the foundation, always blend down. Means that you're not aggravating any of the fine hairs on your face. So you can see this foundation is a medium coverage. It dries, goes on as a liquid and dries as a powder, which is great for this summer season because it doesn't just slide off your face. And I really like the medium coverage at the moment. Feels a little bit lighter for the summer, to be able to see like my freckles. Because how cute are those summer freckles when they go all over your nose? I love it. And so I tend to go for a medium coverage foundation but a full coverage concealer. So the Mineral Touch Skin Perfecting Concealer is just the best. There is nothing that thing can't cover. So using the concealer brush, just tend to dab down the side of the nose, up along the top of the cheekbones, and then I'll use the excess product to bring it up under the eyes, just so we don't get too much under the eyes and then it creases. So I've got a day off with the hubby today, so we're doing a bit of decorating. He's going to take me out for a bit of brunch first, and then yeah, we've got to redecorate and wallpaper. So I'm going to be a bit glammed up, but I didn't get to record last week and I missed it. So I thought I'd get another video uploaded today. So I just bring the highlighter where, the concealer where I like to highlight to, just to give it a good base to stick to. So you can see that that's a couple of shades lighter than my foundation. But it's fine because if you use a damp beauty blender, which I tend to damp a beauty blender with a bit of setting spray, we can merge those two in together so they blend nicely. So don't use it straight away because there'll be so much on the sponge that you'll just wipe it off. But if you just wait a minute or so and then dab the product in, you'll get a nice flawless base. So I tend to go round the whole of my foundation anyway, just so it merges into the skin, not the skin, the hairline nicely. So we're all blended and looking all even. So now we need to add a bit of colour and a bit of dimension to the face. So I like to go for the new Duet Contour Stick, which I then go over with a bronzer because I just like to mix the two formulas. So a tiny bit down the nose. You don't need too much of this because it goes a long way. So it has a highlight in it and a contour in it. And then I use a short knobby brush. You don't want to go where the face then meets the nose, you just want to go that far and you want to just blend it in slightly. And blend up near the hairline. Absolutely loving these products at the moment because they're so lightweight and being mineral based, they don't break out your skin. So blend, the only one we blend down is along the jawline. The rest you always blend up. Looking nice and chiseled. So you can see that has lifted the cheekbones, but with the mix of bronzer over the top, which is going to keep it in place. So it's half matte, half shimmer. I tend to use my brush over both. It's a nice angled brush. But when these two, like I say, work together, you get that beautiful summer glow. Do my pouting face. So I've uploaded a few videos now. I'm starting to get used to it, getting a bit excited, getting a few subscribers now. It's always difficult at first, isn't it? I do a lot of Facebook Live videos, but it's a completely different way of recording, I think, and because you've got people to interact with. So I'm getting used to it, but I'm hoping you're enjoying the content. So with blush, I tend to go on the cheekbones and up to my temples, and then what's left on the brush, just bring down to the apples of the cheek. So if you've got any feedback for me of content that you want to see or what you've thought about the content I have provided, then I'm always open to hearing a bit more. Because I'm learning. We've all got to learn somewhere, isn't that right? Because it's also my first year in business as well. Like, I never thought before that I would ever do business. I wouldn't know where to start, but I have enjoyed this process. I'm growing, I'm learning, so that is the main thing. And so we're going to move on to brows, and I'm going to use this brunette brow palette. So I need a little bit of wax first, and then I'll need a little bit of the darker shade, and we're just going to draw around the natural brow shape. Using the wax first is going to set the product in place, so you're not going to, it's going to keep the hairs where you want them. But also if you sweat or anything, I don't tend to find that any of the product sweats off, which is nice. Right, so what's left on my brush, I'm just going to do small hair-like motions at the front predominantly, and then just sweep it through the rest of the brow just to make it look more natural. Same for this eye. So you can see just by drawing around the shape, it just defines it. You can use it to adjust the shape of your brows if you want, but to be fair, right now I'm quite happy with the shape of my brows. For the first time ever. Brows are always that thing, aren't they? They make such a big difference, but they're so easy to get wrong. So easy. Right, so we're going to move on to the Touch a la Mode Powder Luminizer. So this is, I'm fairly new to powder luminizers. I've used the stick, I've used the cream, but powder is a bit new to me. So this is a shade called Benevolent, which is like a frosty gold. It's the best way to describe it. And I like it. So we're going to go down, just down bridge of the nose, concentrate on the tip. Just a tiny bit between the brows, not too much. And again in the Cupid's bow. Just to give the illusion of a fuller top lip. So in a V round the eyebrow. And we're all highlighted up. So that's our base pretty much ready now. It doesn't take me too long to get ready. So I'm going to use a little bit of our Hottie Lip Plumper. I've got quite big lips anyway, but I just like how it gives a fullness to the lips. Give us more of a pout. So this is a sheer colour. It does come in another 5 shades. But we'll just get those plumping before I put the lipstick on. Oh, I love the tingle. It just gives like that minty fresh feel and a little tingle, nothing too major. But I just love it. So let's set that in place because the sun is shining. We don't want to sweat it off. We'll just dab all that back in. Make sure everything blends nicely. I need to wash my beauty blender. So I found a life hack the other day, and apparently if you put it in water and then put it in the microwave for a minute and then rinse it out and do that 3 times, then it comes out clean. So I'm going to give that a go, because that's the worst job, isn't it? Cleaning your brushes and the beauty blenders. Nothing worse. So I'm just going back to that bronzer, but this time on a fluffy brush. I'm going just above the crease, and I'm going to use the bronzer as the transition colour today. You can probably hear loads of children outside. So I back onto a primary school, and it must be break time. Typical, just as I want to record. Right, so we've got our transition. What should we go for? go for some pinks maybe? No, let's go for some warm. Okay, I'm going to go for these Splurge cream eyeshadows. And so I'd always been a little bit nervous of cream eyeshadows because I thought that they would crease, if I'm honest. But I adore these, and just look at that colour. Because I've got green eyes. This warm rusty shade is just lush. So I'm just using a flat shadow brush. You really don't need too much product. I'm just going to use that across the lid. So this is matte. It comes in, let's brush that excess off. So it comes in 28 shades, and there's a mix of shimmers and matte shades. But this one is one of my faves. So I'm just blending that also into the transition colour, just so everything's merging nicely, and a little bit under the lash line too. So same again. So they're really quick and easy when you need to be on the go. Firstly, they fit in your handbag if you need to touch them up at a later date. But they're just so pigmented. What do you think? It's lush, isn't it? So you could just leave it there, but I'm feeling like just a nice dark shade in the outer corner is going to set that off. So let's just find the right. It's typical. I can't find the right palette now. I should be more organised. So I'm going to go for this. This is Nonsensical on a crease brush. So it's a short nubby brush, and I'm just gonna go in circular motions. Because I've got a hooded eye, I go just above the crease and I tilt my head back so that when I put my head forwards I don't lose all the lid colour. So that's my tip for a hooded eye. So small circular motions just around the crease to give that depth. Blend a tiny bit onto the lid. And that's just giving it that, just that finish. Wow, kids are rough these days. When I was in school, it was all Kiss Chase and British Bulldog. These were the days, eh? My daughter at the moment is just obsessed with cartwheels. So I tried a cartwheel the other day to show her how to do them. I only went and pulled my groin muscle. I remember doing that as a kid. Honestly, you take your life in your hands as a mum some days. So let's use, I'm absolutely loving this eyeliner. It's a star stamp liner from Body Shop. So one end, you're not going to be able to see that, is a star stamper, which is just so much fun for like that festival vibey looks. But it's also a felt tip liner, and it's so easy to use. And the pigment is great. So I'm just doing small sweeping motions across the lid, making sure I get right under the waterline. And then we're just gonna flick out, and then halfway up and then you draw a bit of a triangle to merge it onto the lid, so that gives that beautiful winged look. And winged eyeliner is hard. If you've got the right product, it doesn't have to be quite so difficult. That one I struggle with more. I've got one football shaped eye and one rugby shaped eye. It doesn't make it easy. Right, so let's just make sure that with what's left on my brush from that dark crease colour, I'm just going to blend that under the eye. Just so everything blends nicely. And then I'm out of my favourite mascara, which is the Epic mascara. So I've gone back to my old faithful, and I'm hoping that it's going to live up to my memory. You know when you have a good memory of something? So this is the Telescopic Extra Black by L'Oreal. And it's got like a spiky bristle brush, which is what I'm not used to anymore. I'm now used to quite a full brush. So we'll wiggle at the lash base and just work that product up to the tips. So, verdict is, it's not as good as I remember, but it will do for now while I'm waiting for my delivery. It's just hard to get that fullness, I suppose, because it's like a spiky brush, like a rubber, and now I'm used to quite a full brush, which gives the fullness and the length. I feel like I'm missing out. I'm getting the length, but I'm not getting the fullness. So I don't think I'll be using it long term. Let's just say that. Right, so I'm just gonna rub off some of that excess hottie that's on my lips. You can see how much fuller that pout is now. And it will still continue working. I just love it. Right, I'm gonna go for a normal lipstick. So this one is called Upscale. It's a shimmering pink shade. So the thing I love about a normal lipstick is they are so hydrating. This one's full of vitamins. However, as we all know, you don't get that length of stay. So my top tip, which I only recently learned, but I love it, is get your setting powder. This is the Behold setting powder. I love this mesh liner so that I don't drop it all because I'm very accident prone. And you just dab that setting powder over your lips. It doesn't change the colour, but my God, does it make a difference to how long it lasts. And I just dab that on using the finger. And that is my look for today. So I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, then you know what to do. You press subscribe, press that bell button for future notifications. And I'd love some feedback. So if you've got any feedback, let me know. But otherwise, enjoy your day.